round to starting the infamous Foreplay this evening. We are having a raffle for a Mazda, a red one, MX-5, soft top. So if anyone thinks they might want one, I've got some keys for one that was left in the car park. I shall be putting them somewhere safe for the rest of the performance.
I shall come and see you later.
Oh, excellent. Send your good lady wife, I prefer that. Right. Bumpkins, you're late! My lords, ladies and gentlemen, villagers of parish, strangers from far off lands, welcome. The Corsley players and their now legendary Foreplay wish to enthrall you with the history of this great edifice. The little number called Through Thick and Thin, 450 years of manor farm. For 4.5 centuries we will give you in 4.5 minutes. For today, this manor house, older than the Spanish Armada and the birth of Shakespeare, reaches its 450th birthday. But let us harken back to Saturday, June the 8th, 1563, 7:25 of the candle to be precise. Here, Sir John Thynne, ex-steward to the recently beheaded Duke of Somerset, and Sir John's wife, Lady Dorothy.
Well, husband, unlike poor Edward Seymour in the Tower, you managed to talk your way out from under the executioner's blade, and your silver tongue worked its magic again on good Queen Bess. But what on earth possessed you to pay her 20 ducats of gold for this wilderness of Corsley?
Once I had dropped my previous legion in the ship, I found he had no head for the matters of the estate. And my dear, it was this for Jack's sake. After all, Captain Slade has got the plague. Whilst Corsley has so much more going for it. Don't you think, my dear? Me thinks I might build myself a little homestead here, whilst I think of bigger things over the hill in Longleat to build.
And when will our little homestead be ready?
Oh, by Christmas, by Christmas. I ain't saying which Christmas, mind.
This is the first recorded use of the excuse used by males to their partners about when a building project might be finished, and one the current Mrs. Holly is all too familiar with. And so, dear villagers, Sir John finished his minor homestead, though there's no evidence to indicate by which Christmas it was. Its history then started to unravel. That itinerant playwright, William Shakespeare, passes by and tries out As You Like It on the household wenches. And by all accounts, they liked it very much indeed. Bumpkins, you're on! And that salty seagull, Walter Raleigh, convinces the inhabitants of the benefits of potatoes and tobacco. They smoked the potato and ate the tobacco. But doing it that way round hasn't gone on much further than Corsley. And those tenant farmers, they consume vast quantities of that roasted peacock. And we think this was for medicinal reasons, but we're not quite sure what ailments they actually had. We now spring forward through the centuries to 1947. And we listen in on the conversation of Bumpkin 1 and Bumpkin 2.
Go on, go on. Come on. Oi, Bumpkin 2, have you heard them old Marquis the Fifth at the big house has gone and popped his clogs?
Well, he never did. He never did. If peacocks could fly, you cut me down with your turnip side. He never did.
He sure he did.
And what's more, owing to those punitive and archaic inheritance tax laws, his family owes the government, Maness's government, a gazillion pounds in taxes. And as you know, he's not exactly flush with cash.
Well, bugger me, bumpkin one. Flush indeed. Have you been reading that there FT in your pretty again, or what?
I do find reading the little squares before I use them of the most educational benefit.
Well, personally, I never get past page 3 of the Sun myself.
Meanwhile, back at Longleat, Marquis number 6 is in conversation with his estate manager Tarquin.
Well, Tarquin, it is no use. After Peter passed away, we got nothing in the kitty to pay those wretched death duties. We'll have to flog off some of the estate.
Very well, your Marquis-ness. Shall we have an auction?
Indeed, Tarquin, we will. And a good weak one is what we need.
And so, in April 1947, the house goes under the hammer, and after nearly 400 years in the ownership of the Thynnes, the building, land, and the Droit seigneurial rights are sold out of the family for £12,000. Then we reach 1995. The house is in a sad state, unfit for human habitation, and it becomes home to enough rats to challenge the pipes of the Pied Piper himself. It goes under the hammer once again, but the hammer never descended. And then mine hosts arrive, all enough to pay good money for one of the largest listed rat houses in the country. Fool indeed, or was he? More astute, some say, for it was not the building that he had his eye on, but on the droit seigneurial rights, which he alleges passed down with ownership in the house. And that, my dear villagers, is what he tells the newlywed brides as he cozies up to them on their wedding night. And now, without the do being furthered, without any further ado, the comedy of errors.